So, Lieutenant Colonel, thank you so much for joining us. My first question to you is, why and how did you join the Air Force?
Ooh, that's a long story. So I was in ninth grade in junior high in my hometown in Parkersburg, West Virginia. And a good friend of mine, we were getting ready to go into 10th grade, which was high school back then. And he was going to go into junior ROTC at the high school because his sister was already in it. She was going into her senior year, but he didn't want to go into it alone. So he begged me to sign up with him, put the uniform on, so he had a friend to go with him. So I said sure. And so in the summer of '81, we went out to the boot camp there for the junior ROTC at the high school, put the uniform on, and then of course she ended up going to the academy. So I didn't even know there was an Air Force Academy back then, and that's how I found out about. Got interested in applied, and then got accepted. Got to go, and that's how my Air Force career got started.
Could you describe your experience being captured by Iraqi forces?
So I was, I was shot down on the 15th of February during Desert Storm. Almost just a couple days shy of 30 days into the war. So I was on my 30th mission when I was shot down, and we'd been shot at a lot, done some higher threat missions, and by this time we were feeling pretty confident. At least I was, because they say if you survive your first 10 combat sorties, your chances go up significantly of surviving the war, not getting shot down or killed. I was shot down over the Medina Republican Guard Division, and I was captured right like before I even hit the ground. I was captured. I landed right next to a tank and about 50 really angry Iraqi soldiers that we had just been strafing. So they were happy to see me, and commenced to getting a little payback on the the American air pirate. Anyway, so they kicked the living crap out of me basically, and then luckily some officers came over and kind of escorted me, and that started my captivity.
How were you able to maintain your composure?
So I was raised Catholic. I still am Catholic. I was at that time a bad Catholic, and probably still considered a bad Catholic. But the fundamentals of my Catholic faith gave me strength. Quite frankly, I gave myself communion every day. Interesting enough, and I know in today's world it's probably about PC to talk about faith and religion in uniform, but it quite frankly saved my life. Everything I prayed for, no matter how small it was, I got it was miraculous.
What does it mean to you to be the last prisoner of war?
I think that's a good thing, actually. Means we haven't had being a POW is not fun, and it's obviously to the individual involved, it's horrible, and then but it's also bad for the war effort in a lot of ways, because you're a free source of propaganda to the bad guys. You're also a source of intel. You're a bargaining chip at the armistice table. And if they don't have that, that's one less chip they have. And I worry about scenarios where in today's world, right? Because the internet, back in '91, there was no Facebook or social media or even really an internet hardly. Now you get captured. Bad guys are gonna know everything about you.
What advice would you give to other airmen based on your experience?
Realize what you're doing. I mean, the Air Force throws you a lot of benefits, right? Education benefits, health benefits, all that. But you're there to serve the country, not to serve yourself. And I tell officers this, especially officers that tend to stay in, it's not all about you or your career, really. It's about the mission and the country.
The A-10 is coming to a close. I see you wearing your A-10 patch right there.
Yeah, and I got my squadron at the
Nice.
Vanguard.
Nice.
Yeah, the Air Force has tried to kill her a bunch of times. We're still here.
What do you
Like
think about the Air Force
bad.
getting rid of the plane, though? What do you think about that?
But there's countless stories, Jesse, of guys that were in the army on the ground in Iraq or Afghanistan or Desert Storm, and then find out you fly the A-10, you know, or you know somebody that flies the A-10. Man, that plane saved my life. I mean, countless stories like that. You know, what greater mission? I mean, there's a lot of good missions in the Air Force, a lot of great missions, right? But to support the guys that are kicking in doors, that could be booby trapped with M16s, and giving them, you know, hey, the hogs are here, because the bad guys scared to death of the A-10. I mean, they've called the A-10, you know, cross of death, devil's cross. Whenever the A-10s would come overhead in Afghanistan, man, the bad guys take off. They're done doing whatever they're doing. They're out. You know, so that's what's kept us around all these years, quite frankly, because it gained a lobby of Congress. You know, people called their congressman and said, what are we getting rid of that for? Anyway, I wish they would build some new ones. That's probably not realistic because they are old. I mean, when I was flying as a lieutenant, they were 10 years old. Now they're 40 years old. It's pretty old for a tactical airframe, but I don't see anything capable of doing what it can do still.